We are back. This is episode. What episode is this? Is this
episode 4?
5? Oh, it's episode 4. Okay.
It's a new hope, basically.
It is. We have surpassed another milestone in podcasting, which is getting past 3 episodes. Most podcasts don't get past 1. We crushed that.
We've blown by it.
Then we did a second podcast.
And America still wanted more for some reason.
I don't blame them. Then last week we made history and did a third live YouTube streamed podcast. And now we're doing episode 4. This is unbelievable. We are, and I can say this without, I hope that people don't view this as a cocky statement. We are officially one of the sports podcasts that exist out there. Only one of thousands. And
define sports and define podcasts.
You see, that's what's so great. We are doing those things. We're defining a genre. This is a movement, and it starts one episode at a time.
While we're defining things, let's stop marinating the beginning of this episode. Let's introduce ourselves again.
Oh, see, this is why Rich is the executive producer, because I'll just sit here and talk like this for an hour. And I don't even have an hour. I have like 25 minutes to do this.
It's just because nobody else wanted the job. It's not because of anything I did.
So welcome to the Word Podcast. The hashtag is sports news stuff. That should have been underlaid here at some point. We had some technical difficulties. I'm James Mundia, joined by Richard Bruce Clinton Abernathy. You didn't know. See, that's part of the drama of the election cycle, is that they're going to bring him out at the South Carolina primary. The South Carolina primary, there's always big surprises. Like, do you remember a couple years ago, this is getting into conspiracy theory territory, that
it's one of your favorite corners.
Yeah, I like to dive into that area of the internet. One candidate made up a rumor about another candidate having an illegitimate child with somebody of a different race right before the South Carolina primary. I won't go into details, but I thought it's just so funny. South Carolina primary is where like all the weird stuff happens.
Well, there's a little bit of gamesmanship today, apparently.
What happened? Fill me in.
This has not been confirmed. I did not actually go to the site because I didn't want to. But I heard from a fairly respected source that if you went to Jeb Bush's website today, it redirected you to Donald Trump's website.
Stop it right now. Donald Trump is the guy running for student body president as a joke, and now it's like people are like actually going to vote for him. I mean, I know that's something that's been said all the time on these Twitter memes and everything, but that's absurd. I mean, this is getting out of control.
And I just did one of our biggest pet peeves on the show, and something that we need to mock with a skit at some point. Now, we don't want to speculate, but here's some speculation.
I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I can, after seeing what I saw, it is 100%, 99.5% certain that he will not be with us for the second half. Jim, back to you.
I mean,
thanks, Pam.
I don't want to speculate, but I'm going to speculate as a corner square on cable news bingo on the card.
Oh, wow. I love that. I'm glad I work nights now, because I can't do that. I just can't. I can't have it on. It's always on at the house. Okay, let's get to the broadcast. We have a short clock, which I actually prefer the shorter clock episodes of the Word as compared to our.
Hey, it's not the size of the clock; it's how you use it.
And we've gotten very good. We've gotten very, very good at it. So keep that in mind, ladies.
Yeah. We actually did a rundown for tonight's show, so we should actually use the rundown. We're not used to that.
It's comprehensive. Let's jump into it. The NBA All-Star Weekend. Again, another reason why Rich is the executive producer, because, wow, I completely forgot that this is one of the most entertaining weekends in entertainment. It's not just a sports thing anymore. It's taken over. It's celebrities and all the events, and Drake somehow managing to attach himself to something else of significance.
I think I want to start calling him Aubrey again. just for
Wow.
fun.
Shout
Just
out
be
to
different.
shout out to a good friend of the program, Josh, who is a big time Degrassi fan, and I remember thinking like, what is this show? But he was way ahead of the game. He knew that Drake was going to be big while he was in a wheelchair or whatever happened to him on that show. Anyway, All-Star Weekend. I think we have to go into this, what you said yesterday over text, which is amazing. This whole, I almost said Kevin Love. This whole Kevin Hart Stockholm syndrome thing. I'm going to let you prognosticate.
That's the only explanation. But and let me preface this by saying I like Kevin Hart just fine. I have no axe to grind with him whatsoever. He's clearly one of the hardest working guys in show business. He's everywhere. But every year, it's just like they keep bringing him back, and it's the same thing. And I even saw some tweets on Friday night. I can't take credit for this, but as soon as I read it, I was like, oh, of course, that's exactly what's going to happen. Where he's coaching in the celebrity game, and one of the NBA bloggers I follow tweeted, oh, he's absolutely coming out to play in the second half. It's exactly what happened. He's in every event. They're bringing him into the broadcast during the game, during different events on Saturday night, and I just don't know how it happened. It's slowly evolved over the last couple of years, and now he's on TV more than Charles or Kenny.
Do you I don't know if you watch the Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
I do.
The episode that they had with Seinfeld and Kevin Hart, Seinfeld said the one thing, he always does this, he has one statement during each episode that is just like so profound, and it even kind of, sometimes you don't notice it till later or you watch it. He said the thing about Kevin Hart, he has the most energy of anybody he's ever seen. He's
unbelievable. He's a talented guy. I think he's funny. I just don't know why he has to be a part of every single part of All-Star Weekend, since he doesn't really have a tie to the NBA other than just being an All-Star Weekend.
I think, and that's what I'm saying, when Seinfeld said that, and you talking about it, it's making me think that there's a couple things going on here. There's just good PR, good marketing. Hey, stay relevant. People that I really admire that do that, like Will Ferrell. You would think that he could have just coasted, but he's still grinding out there. He was on a soccer podcast I listened to the other day. I mean, what is that? But he's just staying relevant, grinding. But
they have soccer podcasts? Hang on, hold up. There's soccer podcasts?
Bro, Men in Blazers. Oh, I thought you were for real. Hey, I don't know.
No.
So they bring out, these guys, they have that energy. And I think you have that side of it, which is like, I'm just going to stay relevant. I'm going to stay grinding. But then I think the element that makes me think about the Seinfeld quote is maybe it's not energy. It could be this other force, not an addiction.
Are you going like Illuminati on me right now?
No, because that's like so done and been done. I'm just talking about, it's almost as if he's overpowering common sense. Like you said, and that's why your Stockholm Syndrome comment is so perfect. It's like, why are we still... personality. Yes, exactly. And I think that he just walks into a room, he pitches these ideas, or his people pitch it for him. Because I remember before Kevin Hart was big, he was doing All-Star Weekend, and it was like, oh, this guy's funny, he's a comedian, he's doing these movies with, the Judd Apatow type stuff. And then he came back again, and it's like, oh, okay, they're doing the Kevin Hart thing again. I mean, that's okay, whatever. And then now it's like expected, and so that's what I think of with the Kevin Hart thing. But at the same time, I'm gonna go another angle. You need that because I think the festivities get so mundane. Maybe it's almost like they're delegating the responsibility to be excited about it.
It's like the hype man for
that's
every event.
Exactly it.
And look, again, it's not a knock on Kevin Hart at all. But with all the celebrities there, all the people that are there, all the all-stars, like, why not spread that out and get some other guys involved? Why is it just, Kevin Hart the whole time? Like, have him come in, pitch a couple innings, they go to the bullpen, bring somebody else in. But they keep going back to the Kevin Hart well over and over and over again.
I'm going to steal something from Jon Stewart here, which is actually surprising that I haven't done this already on the show.
Jon Stewart was at the game. Why isn't he coming on the broadcast? It would have been great. I miss him. John, please come back. Please come back. I miss you.
I'm going to steal something from him when it comes to your point about spreading it around, this and that, is that there is, and maybe this is, I don't know, hypocritical for me to say this. No, it's not, because we're not big time broadcasters, so it doesn't matter. There is this inherent sort of, that's a good point. Yes, we're aspirational. There is this inherent sort of laziness when you're programming, and especially live type programming. Of course, there's pre-taped segments for something as intricate as the All-Star Weekend, but I think there's this inherent laziness that comes along with programming it. And so when you have someone that you can almost just throw out there and just be like, well, just keep the camera hot, and if he's doing something, we'll figure it out. I think that kind of comes along with it. And again, you have to really convince people to stay engaged if you're not a big time basketball fan for something like that, because there's advertising money. They've got to run numbers. So I don't know. I would say that it has more to do with either he is just, like you said, force of personality, his energy, or there's this kind of like just, oh yeah, fine, yeah, Kevin Hart, whatever. He's still relevant, and
he's everywhere. He's in commercials. He's in a movie every other weekend, it seems like, that's coming out. And I do want to go back to something you said, because I do have to disagree with you. In my best Bill Lumberg voice, I have to sort of go ahead and disagree with you there. I know a lot of people who work in live TV, and I think your point was going down the right track. You said, it's late. I don't think laziness is the right word.
Okay.
But you do have a lot of time to fill.
Ooh,
if you have a guy who can come and can bring that energy, and to me, the interesting part is I don't really remember seeing him on Saturday. He was just providing commentary. So if he's like on and he's doing his Kevin Hart thing on camera, maybe I get it a little bit more than he's just coming in to commentate. Like, of all the basketball players that were there, all the Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, legends of the game, why is he chiming in on the three-point contest and slam dunk contest instead of some of these other guys? That was really my thing, is I didn't really get why it was just the Kevin Hart. He basically hosted All-Star Weekend in Toronto.
The entire thing. And shout out to him. Shout out to Kevin Hart.
Hey,
let's put him on the bucket list let's put him on our guest bucket list.
He's going to be on this show, I think, next week.
He's going to start doing small time, 8 to 9 listener, sports and whatever other content. Podcast.
I hope at some point we can get up to small time.
Oh wow! Okay, you're right. All right, let's baby steps.
Stay humble. Let's not forget where we came from.
Let's just take it one podcast at a time. Yeah. Coach is keeping us focused.
110%. But
so we're still on a short clock. I want to
do one more All-Star Weekend thing before we move on.
Yes.
We've done our Kevin Hart piece.
Yes.
This is my prisoner of the moment overreaction of the week segment, where we're going to start. We'll come up with a catchier name than that, obviously.
I like it. Give him camera too. Go for it.
Can we calm down on the greatest slam dunk contest ever just for a minute? Can we give it a week? Give it some context? Look, I know this happens on a daily basis. There's time to fill. We got to have crap to talk about. I get it. But can we not put Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, as awesome as that was, and it was awesome. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Can we not put that in the Dominique Jordan level? Just for at least a week or two? Can we just marinate on it, think about it, see if that's something we really want to do? Yeah,
it's funny. It's with the instant accessibility to that content, it almost cheapens it. Like, can you imagine like the Dominique and MJ in that era is just, that's a different planet. We get that every day. They were all-stars doing that. Right.
And no offense to LaVine and Gordon, who are promising young guys, they're not at that level.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the same. It would be like if Westbrook and Paul George, or Westbrook and LeBron, I guess is probably a better example, just going at it toe to toe. And look, we do it all the time with, Odell Beckham makes a one-hand catch. Oh, it's the greatest catch ever. Somebody hits this. Oh, it's the greatest shot ever. That's just sort of the culture that we're in, and I guess it's one of the necessary evils of being able to see everything and react to everything instantaneously is that there's just so much noise, and people have to say stuff to try to cut through and be different or immediately put it in context. And I hate that. Let's just enjoy it. Let's savor it. And then maybe next year say, hey, you know what? Last year was pretty freaking awesome. Maybe that's one of the best ones ever. Just give it a minute. And then I'll get off my soapbox now, but I wanted to go into that a little bit with you tonight.
The hashtag is sports news stuff, and just in, give it a minute. I like that. That is one of our hashtags.
Maybe that's the segment name, give it a minute.
Ooh, see, this is why Richard Bruce Clinton Abernathy is the executive producer of this program.
It's actually Bruce Banner Abernathy, but
I'll
forgive you.
Sorry, you have so many third middle names. Second.
We need some more famous Bruces so we can keep that gag going a couple more weeks.
Don't worry. I'm already one step ahead of you. So we're still on a short clock. I'm actually going to go ahead and admit something. I'm not prepared for the next segment that we had, which was comparing. So we're gonna make this an audience type thing.
Do you want? We can float it if you want to float it to next week.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want to float it, but I want to get other input here. Let's really make this an interactive experience. We wanted to talk about the top TV sports themes of all time, because I had one favorited on my personal YouTube, and I don't understand why it doesn't get more props. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to.
It's a good one.
Right? I mean, come on. And growing up where I grew up, I was a big fan of that sport, like almost just by being in that geographic area. So it just was a big deal for me. Maybe that's why I'm attaching significance to it. So let's actually float this out there to the viewers, those of you that are watching live, those of you that are watching us on delay. Let's put it in the comments, the top TV sports themes. This can be the intro. Usually it's the intro, right? That's kind of where you get the marquee, the graphics and the music. So go ahead and float those in the comments. You can, I guess you could email us. We don't have an email address, but you can reach out to us however you.
We're still under construction.
Yeah,
we need to get a Twitter account, email. We have. This is like the 8th iteration of the show in various forms since 2005. Is that when we started this thing?
That's when we started the program. So we're talking about over 10 years here.
We're almost a teenager. We're getting close.
Yeah.
We're starting to stop enjoying hanging out with our parents, and we're spending a lot of time in our rooms.
Yeah. I mean, that is the program. We are, what are they? Tweens. We're tweens.
Listen,
yeah,
that's close. And
okay.
But really, more than anything, I mean, well before ESPN used that as the lead-in on a lot of their podcasts, we were a free-flowing conversation about that occasionally touched on mature subjects.
Oh, wow.
Usually from great callers into the show, but we still would touch on mature subjects from time to time.
It would happen.
David from Durham Tech, if you're out there.
Oh my gosh, let's find that guy. Let's talk about you put something in the rundown here that I got a chance to look at. Let's talk about, there are puppet masters. There are people that know how to stay relevant. We talked about that a little bit earlier. There are people that seem to be playing a different game than everybody else. I would put like John Calipari in that kind of realm.
Yeah.
He just kind of seems to be a step ahead, even when things aren't going well. He kind of has that.
By the way, real quick sidebar.
Yes.
Do you think he pulled a Gene Hackman and got thrown out of that game on purpose the other day?
See, this is what I'm saying. It's the most obvious thing ever. Like, I saw it on the bottom line, and I was like, oh, really? He got kicked out of the game early, and they still won? Oh, man, that's so surprising. Are you kidding me? I couldn't believe that.
Purely motivational. It's a mid-February game in Colombia. It ultimately has no significance on their season other than him making a point to his team.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you have like the puppet masters, you have him, and then we'll have to do him on another show as well, because just college sports in general, college basketball. We've got to do a run up for that, and then in a whole other stratosphere, you have Kanye West, who I didn't realize that when somebody releases an album that it's something that people care about. Maybe they don't. Maybe he created this out of nowhere. But why am I supposed to care, or am I overreacting here? I mean,
listen, the whole thing was either brilliant or just idiotic, and I don't really know which one it was. There's no in between on this for me.
That's what I'm saying.
He was supposed to drop it. I think last Thursday. I want to say was the day. I think on like Saturday, it was like the guy's going on SNL tonight. Where the hell is the new album? What is going on? And then I guess after he performed, he released it along with a series of bizarre tweets. But he also tweeted a week or two ago that Bill Cosby was innocent in all caps. So I think you kind of have to throw logic out the window and take what he does with a grain of salt.
Can I make an admission? When that
Please.
tweet was making its rounds, again, I work evenings now. I don't watch a lot of TV, and during the day, I'm not really up on what's hip. Like, you are my provider of what's hip by the showrunner.
That is so sad for you. I feel awful for you.
No, I'm well informed now. But I saw that tweet it was, I couldn't avoid it, even though I'm kind of insulated from that, sometimes by design, sometimes by accident. I saw that tweet and people were like, oh, Kanye, I can't believe you tweeted that. And I thought that Bill Cosby had gone to trial and had been acquitted. And I thought that Kanye was celebrating it. So I was like, oh, okay, he's really supporting Bill Cosby. I didn't realize that it was just
Special CNN correspondent Kanye West is breaking news from the courtroom. Like, what did you think? If anything, I went the other way and thought that he does stuff like that just to keep himself in the conversation.
Well, that's
he knows exactly what he's doing. And he plays it as I'm Kanye, I'm unpredictable, I'm crazy, you never quite know what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do. But it's gotten to the point where he's almost like the boy who cried wolf, where you're just like, all right, well, you just know that he's going to say something or do something just to get, like the Zuckerberg, that whole series of tweets to Zuckerberg. And look, he may be having financial difficulty. That may be true. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to make light of that because obviously, no, I'm serious. Like,
yeah.
He's a hell of an artist. I've enjoyed, the Kanye era, so to speak, and I certainly don't want that to go away or while he may do some things from time to time, they're like, I don't know about that. Don't want to see anybody fall into financial ruin or have a lot of problems. Let me just get that clear off the top. But it also feels like the type of thing that, like, yeah, that's something he would do just to get some pub for a couple of days and have people talking about him and create some buzz for the new album that he's, doing through a weird website, and like, he's not going the traditional route. So how do you get publicity for that? You say some weird stuff and get people to talk about you, and people want to go check it out just to see what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
it all fits that crazy Kanye narrative.
And it's working because, a show like ours that has viewership that is in at least the tens is talking about it. So that's already.
Are your parents watching tonight? So we're up to 10.
I actually forgot to text my parents to watch it. So hopefully they subscribed and they just get the notification. The Word Podcast is streaming live now. Otherwise, they're not watching.
If you're watching this, you should subscribe to the Word Podcast. Just go ahead and do it.
Do that. YouTube, subscribe, or you can also join us on Google Plus. You'll get a notification when we're streaming live.
You don't actually have to watch. Just get the numbers up so that other people think it's a cool thing to do, and then they'll like lemmings will follow suit.
We'll do like dance music DJs were doing in the when dance music, like EDM quotes, was starting to become more mainstream, as they would just buy like 50,000 to 100,000 followers, so that people are like, oh my God, have you heard of this dude? He's got like 100,000 followers on SoundCloud. Like, no, I don't know who that person is at all. Yeah. But they got a lot of followers, so they got to be good, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I should have played that game when I was still in the DJ game. But I guess that would have taken money. So never mind. I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Coming up next week on Behind the Music.
Behind the Music, the illustrious DJ career, DJ Cordy, DJ Monday, DJ Mundia.
You had more names than Apollo Creed.
Wow, I did change. I thought that was it. I thought that was what it would take. Change the DJ name. People are going to all of a sudden start booking me. And I'm going to hold you to this too. Anybody listening, I want you to pay very close attention to this. And Rich, you're going to be the in charge of this. I'm going to be like Obama making Biden in charge of stopping cancer. You're going to be in charge of me never DJing again. Do not let me.
Am I Biden just because I'm the white guy in the duo? Are we
No,
following some old school stuff here? Can we? Why am I not Obama and you're not Biden?
Because I'm giving you the task here. It has nothing to do with the actual racial makeup of the show. Because as many people may or may not know, we are related. So I mean, that just throws a whole. That throws a curveball in there. But let me just say, do not let me DJ again. Do not. I swear. Maybe
I will throw my body in front of that bullet. I will not let it happen.
Weddings are good money, but do not let me get into a club playing music for people. That is not a good idea.
Unless it's my wedding or another party at Coolidge in Chapel Hill.
Oh.
You're not DJing again. Maybe a legacy come out of retirement performance, but you're done.
I forgot that one of the first house parties I DJ'd in college was at your joint, and it was fire, bro.
It was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Shout out to everybody who used to live at 620 Coolidge, by the way. I know
I saw Brian Deaton was a subscriber. We got to get him to shoot another promo for
We need to get him on the show. It's been long enough. We have to get him on the show.
We have a long list of distinguished guest hosts that we need to get on here.
If we ever do a 3 a.m. show, he can hop on while he's feeding his infant son. So
Brian Deaton has a kid.
Yes.
Congratulations, Brian Deaton. I'm not up on Facebook, so I don't know who's doing what. Okay, let's do this. So we're coming towards the close of the program. I don't want to just cut things off abruptly. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna return to Kanye next week as well. We want you to Kanye. The Kanye saga continues on the show.
Have you listened to the album yet?
I'm not saying this to sound funny. I don't know where I'm supposed to do that. Again, some of it's my fault. I'm just like not hip.
I can help you. I can help you offline. We'll talk.
Okay, because I don't even know. I am like old school. I like open up Spotify, and if somebody has a new album, I'm like, okay, I think I can stream it. But then like there's ads. I don't even want to get into it.
I'm gonna check it out tomorrow. I'm gonna listen to it to and from work. So
there you go.
We'll talk.
So we'll get back to Kanye. Next week, we want your comments this week. Top sports intro themes of all time. TV, I guess. But if there's other radio stuff. There's a couple this could get kind of heated because I'm already thinking there's some that are going to kind of dominate the attention here.
There's some old school ones too that might trickle in.
There's two
like some mid-late 80s to early 90s type of stuff for some of our slightly older viewers.
This is what I'm saying because there's two that I'm thinking of right now that I searched the internet for literally years. I'm not saying literally in the way that we say it when we talk about anything. Like I spent years on the internet searching for these themes and they finally came out. So that could get heated, but we want you to comment on our Google Plus page or our YouTube comments here on the channel. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'm gonna I don't have another name for you. I'm spent. But thank you for watching the Word episode 4. Is it? This is episode 4.
Should we hold our hands up in the air like they do in Keene Stadium with the 4 fingers?
I still don't know what that means, but I guess it means.
I like it. At least they have a thing.
It's a tradition, yeah. All right, so for Richard, Bruce, McAllister, Clinton, Abernathy.
It doesn't even make sense.
That's his name. That doesn't have to make sense. I am James Mundia. Thank you for watching The Word. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Share it with your other bored friends that need something to listen to when they're driving to and fro work. And we will see you next week.
Like it or not, we're coming back, America.